What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is definitely going to be an interesting review because I don't really know how much to say about this. This is going to be the first of my reviews for the World Cup 2018 for the U.S. And right now they just played their fifth qualifying game against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I had no idea that was even a country. But yeah, so this is a CONCACAF game. It's in the group stage. I looked up the group stage matches, and apparently they are not looking as good as they should right now. Trinidad and Tobago are 1 point above them, and then Guatemala are only 3 points behind them, and then St. Vincent, the Grenadines, have lost all of their games. So the fact that we beat them doesn't really come as any surprise. In fact, the only reason that this game should be talked about is if the U.S. had not won. So the fact that they did doesn't really say a whole lot. And even if I review it, it's hard to really say much about it because, I mean, it's a game that you can't really judge because, honestly, they're not that good. No offense to them. You know, they put up a fight and they definitely played hard, but they're just not good technically. They're not good physically. They're just sort of out there. And it's really hard to judge based on that. So I thought about it and I thought, you know what? Best thing to do is to look at the choices that were made. You know, the performances you can't really judge. So let's look at Klinsmann's choices. Let's see what he did as far as the system, as far as the players that he put out there. Let's see what he did right and wrong there because that is something that we can look at. Because based on this game, you should be able to make some good choices. You should be able to give some of your players that are looking promising, that are young, you should be able to give them a chance. And to be honest, he did not do much of that. It was pretty much a normal side, except for Acosta, who I don't really know much about. You know, I've heard the name before. But aside from that, it's pretty much what you'd expect to see. You know, you've got Cameron and Bessler in defense. You got Yedlin outright. You've got Beckerman for some reason, and Bedoya in the middle, not on the wing for some reason. Zusi on one wing. Johnson, thankfully, on the wing. Hopefully he stays out there. And then you've got Altidore and Wood up top. I don't get that. I don't understand. And honestly, I'm gonna look up this really fast because I've heard about Acosta before, but I don't know much about him. So if this is like a player plays for DC United, no, it may not be the same Acosta. Hang on. Oh, there he is. He plays for FC Dallas. He is okay. Yeah, he's fairly young, 21. Okay, that's good. So he's got one young player out there at fullback that has not really played much before. If he has, I haven't really seen him. So that's nice to see. But everybody else out there, I'm thinking, you know, some of them, okay, you've got some experience out there. I appreciate that. But why is Beckerman out there? It feels like a wasted position. I know some people are going to be like, well, he's the only real center defensive mid we have out there besides Bradley. Say, where does Stoke play Cameron again? Oh, that's right. They play him as a center defensive mid. That's where he plays the entire year. And then for the few games that he plays for the U.S., for some reason he ends up back at center back. I totally forgot. Because for some reason, Klinsmann totally forgets every single time. And he always ends up back at center defense. For some reason. Think about the abundance of center backs we have for the U.S. We've got Bessler, we've got Brooks, we've got Gonzalez, we've got Miazga, we've got somebody else. I can't remember who else. Miazga didn't even make it. There was another center back that made it. We've got all of these center backs, and for some reason he takes one of our center defensive mids that he could be playing over Beckerman, over Bradley, who have both been awful. He puts him back in center back. It's a waste. It's like saying, okay, so we've got this position which is covered by 5 people, and then we've got this position who has 3 people, and 2 of them are awful. I'm going to take that third one that's not awful, and I'm going to put him in a position that's already covered by 5 other people because that makes so much sense. And it's really frustrating. And then on top of that, he puts Bedoya in there too when he's got so many other options, and Bedoya can go out on the wing. It's just he's not really a center midfielder. He's not a center attacking mid. He's not a center defensive mid. He's a wing. He's always been a wing. Every time I watch him play, I'm thinking he's a good winger. And then you're going to try to move him inside. It's like trying to play Jermaine Jones on the wing. It's like he's not a winger. He is a center mid. Why are you trying to play him out there? The only real thing that he got right was he got 2 things right. He put Acosta in, which was good. He put Johnson up at the wing. That was probably the only good decision that I thought he made. Because Johnson has been played as a left back for as long as I can remember under Klinsmann. And everybody keeps saying he's a winger. He's a winger. He's not a left back. He's a winger. And he puts him at left wing, and guess what? He creates some chances tonight. He looks better as a winger. He really does. So I just don't understand why he can get that right. He can see that and be like, okay, this is a good idea. But then look at all these other ideas that he's doing. Beckerman out there, Bedoya out there, Cameron out of position again, Yedlin out of position again. And think, oh yeah, these are great ideas too. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, okay, Yedlin playing at right back could just be because we lack right backs right now, which we do. I can't think of any other right backs for the U.S. right now. I really do prefer him as a winger. I think he attacks better than he defends, and there are so many times where he goes flying out of the back trying to attack, and then we'll either lose the ball, or if he doesn't have the ball, then we lose it, and now he's out of position. Now he's got to sprint back, which he's got the speed to. But it's a bit scary to think about when we're playing against the better teams. If he sprints out of that position, he's not going to catch some of these higher level players. Tonight, yeah, he could probably catch them, or not tonight, sorry, last night. This is coming a day late. So I feel like he's a better as a wing, but unfortunately we don't really have anybody to take that position. So for right now, I guess that'll work to have him there. What would be even better though is if we could go with like a 3 backs with 2 wing backs, because then you could put Johnson and Yedlin on the wing back position, and now you've got 2 players playing wings that really should be playing wings, and then you've got 3 center backs, which, I mean, like I said, we've got very good number of center backs to put back there, so why not go that route? But anyway, those are just my thoughts. Obviously, Klinsmann doesn't see it in that way. The other problem that I had, though, is that, once again, he has an opportunity to play some of these young, experienced players. Well, not experienced, but give them experience in the national team, and he doesn't. He doesn't start them. Aside from Acosta, all the other youngsters that have been really raved about, Pulisic, Nagby. Actually, Nagby's not even a youngster. For some reason, I thought he was young because everybody kept talking about him like he's the next big thing. I'm like, he's 25, isn't he? Anyway, but you've got Pulisic, you've got not Bobby Wood, Jordan Morris. You got him on the bench. You've got a few youngsters that weren't even brought into the team, like Julian Green and Aaron Johansson. You've got all of these youngsters out there that you could be playing in a match like this, where this team isn't really going to threaten that much. And yet, you don't. You put out a normal team that you'd expect to see any other time from Klinsmann, and that's it. And, it's a normal game. We end up winning 6-0 because we should. It's kind of what I've come to expect at this point. It's St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You should win that game by quite a bit. Why not give your youngsters a chance to impress? Why not give them a chance to play in this system that you've got going? But instead, you just put out all these players that have played so many times, and it just whoop-de-doo. They get to play in this match that honestly probably doesn't even help them, because how does that help to play against a team like this? It doesn't. It just gives them a chance to run around and do stuff. So I'm frustrated with those decisions. There were some bright points. I mean, obviously, he did make the subs. He did bring in Jordan Morris. He did bring in Pulisic. brought in this other guy that I never even heard of, Sasha Kleshkin or something like that, who actually looked pretty good. Part of that could be because at this point the other team's really tired and not running around as much, but he made some really good passes to create the last few goals. So I don't know about him. I don't know what to expect from him. He's 30, so it's hard to say that this is a player that we need to bring into the team, but he did some really good stuff that I'm hoping maybe to see him play against Trinidad and Tobago and see if maybe we can use him 2 years from now in the World Cup. But anyway, I don't really want to talk about player performances too much, but if I had to, I would say that even against this team, there are a few players that stand out as good and some that stand out as bad. Beckerman obviously is one of those that just every single time the ball came into one of the players on the other team, he's diving in every single time and getting turned or fouling the guy. I'm surprised he didn't get a yellow all night long as many times as he made stupid challenges. I just don't understand the benefit of having him in there. I feel like you could give so many different players a chance to play and give them game time, but instead you're giving 90 minutes to Beckerman. It's like if you took a cone and threw it out there and said you get 90 minutes. You're not helping the cone because it doesn't do anything. It's there. It's out on the field. That's all it really does. You're taking away a spot from somebody else who could actually get some experience, get some game time. And that's frustrating for me to watch as he dives into another challenge. I'm thinking, I'd rather have somebody else out there. So anyway, that was frustrating. In the defense, I thought they all played average. I didn't see anybody that really stood out to me as really good or really bad. There were one too many chances for me. In fact, they really should have had a goal on one of them because none of them were offsides on. I think it was the second one that was called off. There were way too many lapses in concentration back in the defense that are really worrisome for me. Bedoya, I thought played okay, didn't do much, but didn't do anything terrible. Johnson, I thought had a pretty good game, created a lot of chances. Zusi, kind of a body out there. Never really been impressed with him. I've always thought that physically he's a good player. He runs around a lot. He's fast. He's strong. But when you really look at how he plays, it's not that good. You feel like he can't really do much with the ball. And tonight it felt the same way. And then up top, Altidore and Bobby Wood. Wood ended up getting a pretty nice goal, but there were too many chances that he just wasted that you can't do if you're a striker. And Altidore is just... I had so much hope for him whenever he was at Sunderland because it felt like maybe playing in the Premier League will help him grow. He'll be strong. He'll be able to hold up the play. But then he never made it at Sunderland, and then he ends up getting transferred back to the MLS. And now I just feel like his career is just sort of stalled. I don't feel excited to see him in the team anymore. I'm just like, oh, it's Altidore again, and he didn't do much tonight. Even his penalty it just blasted it straight down the middle. The keeper wasn't so, oh, I'm going to jump over here. If he hadn't made that dumb decision, he would have easily saved it. So, pretty frustrating night as far as strikers go. I wish we could have seen Johansson because he's a young striker that I feel like needs a chance to impress. Then finally the subs. Like I said, Klishton? I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. It's really hard. I thought he did pretty well, even though it is against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I thought he looked good. I thought he moved the ball around very well. I thought he good passes. I would like to see more of that. I'd like to see us have more of that up top as far as the passing and the moving. I don't think we do enough of that up top. I think we do too much of that in the back, and it really hurts us a lot. Pulisic came on. He looked really good. He looks fast. He looks strong for being 18, I think. Really excited to see more of him. I really want him to get a chance to prove that he can make it in the first team. Because, he comes in, he scores 2 goals. Klinsmann open your eyes. You know, he should be starting these games by now. And then the last one to come in was Jordan Morris. Didn't see enough of him to really make a judgment, but from what I saw, he looks like he's got some speed on him. Maybe needs a bit better of a touch, but he looks like he wants to work hard, so that's always nice to have in a team. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the game. I hope to see a better lineup against Trinidad and Tobago. I want to see some more youth out there. I want to see less Beckerman out there. I'd like to see players being played in better positions. You know, namely Cameron, Bedoya, and Beckerman should be on the bench. So yeah, overall though, I thought it was a good showing for them. It was a good chance for them to sort of build up their confidence, because I think that is one of the biggest things about playing teams like this is that, yeah, it's not a great game. Yeah, it's hard to play well against teams like this that aren't that good. You know, it's hard to really get much training and experience out of this. But you beat them 6-0. You can kind of say, you know, that's good. It's some good goal difference right there. So that's really nice. But anyway, so those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What would you like to see change in the next game against Trinidad and Tobago? And hopefully we don't get knocked out in the qualifiers, because that would be really, really embarrassing. And yeah. So leave a like and subscribe for future World Cup 2018 reviews, and I will see you at the next game. Peace out.